going to continue today in our devotions on Hannah, found in the first chapter of Samuel. And actually, today we're going to be in 1 Samuel chapter 2, where starting in verse 18, it says, "Now Samuel was ministering before the Lord as a boy, wearing a linen ephod, and his mother would make him a little robe and bring it to him from year to year when she would come up with her husband to offer their yearly sacrifice. Then Eli would bless Elkanah and his wife and say, 'May the Lord give you children from this woman in the place of the one she has dedicated to the Lord.' And they went to their own home. The Lord visited Hannah, and she conceived and gave birth to 3 sons and 2 daughters, and the boy Samuel grew before the Lord." And I think sometimes in our thinking, we do think that it's a little bit bizarre that Hannah dedicated this child to the Lord and then took him to the temple and left him there. But I think that we get the understanding from this passage that Hannah continued to be in Samuel's life, that she continued to make clothes for him, that she continued to visit him as she went to worship. I think we also see that Elkanah and Hannah continued to be faithful to the Lord. God had granted Hannah's prayer and had given her this precious boy, and she in turn dedicated him back to the Lord to serve him for his entire life. And yet, seemingly that would mean that her prayer, which had been answered, was now no longer answered because she no longer had this child that she prayed for. But Elkanah and Hannah continued to go and to worship. And it was in that process of continuing to be faithful that Eli asked that God would bless Elkanah and Hannah with more children, and God did indeed answer Eli's prayer, and Hannah and Elkanah had more children. But I think that one of the things that we see here from this part is just Hannah's faithfulness. Hannah was faithful to pray. Hannah was faithful to do what she had told God she was going to do. Hannah was faithful in the care of her child and in dedicating him to the Lord. And Hannah continued to be faithful when Samuel was living at the temple, in her care for him and in her worship. My encouragement for us today, my prayer for us today, is that we would be faithful to whatever God has for us to do, in whatever situation we're in, whether it is what we consider optimal or whether we consider it to be lacking, that we would be continuously faithful to the God who is faithful to us.